Hello, book fans. I'm in Book Corner because I have been reading Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. Now, this book has to be read rather than watched on the telly because you know that a book is always better than the TV series. I've never seen a TV series, but I'm assuming the book is a lot better. So, this Handmaiden's Tale, what's it about and why have I not read it before? Well, it's by Margaret Atwood. She's a renowned writer, and the reason I've not read it before is because it sounds a bit pervy. Handmaid's Tale. I thought it was something to do with Eddie Murphy in a bath with of goat's milk with some handmaidens, but it's nothing like that. It's not. It's actually a book about feminism, I suppose, or extreme ultra sexism is what the book is actually about. And to take it in, it's a really well written. Great read, well worth it. You need to read this book. If you're a man or a woman and you want to read about how far sexism can go in the world, then this is probably your one. Although it does represent an alternate reality. I'm assuming it's alternate and not after Donald Trump's second term in government, which is possibly, it could be a forecast of the future. It's obviously a dystopia where women are just treated as slaves who are just have to push out children, and that is their main purpose in life. Because there's fertility problems, maybe because of like nuclear apocalypse of the future, or maybe because all the men in power, and it is men in power it seems, are old and have old balls, therefore can't produce children. So they need these young women to bear the children for them. It's a very easy read as well once you get into it. It's 320 pages on this variant of it, written in the 90s, this version. But I imagine any updated version is going to be excellent as well. And considering the age of the book, it does come across really well, and it's comparable to modern day. You could believe this is a real thing that happens in the future as such. But it's from the first person perspective from the protagonist, so just bear that in mind, because I found it a bit of a struggle over the first 10 pages, I'd say, until I got used to the language and the character and her voice, because the language is called of Fred, because every handmaiden, so she's a handmaiden, is given a brand new name because they're not allowed their old name because they don't have freedom anymore. So of Fred, because Fred is her master, the commander who she has to produce children for. So as a book, it's a very nice read. So I'll just read you a little section if that's okay. So this is one of her daily walks with her chum of Glen, because of Glen is she's owned by Glen basically, much like women still are these days in the marriage ceremony. They're owned by the father and then given to the husband. There's an exchange of personal property there. Anyway, I walk with of Glen along the summer street. It's warm, humid. This would have been sundress and sandals weather once. In each of our baskets are strawberries, and strawberries are in season now, so we'll eat them and eat them until we're sick of them. And some wrapped fish. We got the fish at Loaves and Fishes, with its wooden sign, a fish with a smile and eyelashes. It doesn't sell loaves though. Most households bake their own, though you can get dried up rolls and wizened donuts at Daily Bread if you run short. Now, what this is, right, it's basically they've taken an ultra religion, so it's a brand new country and world, and what it is, it's saying it's North America, so the USA, what used to be the USA, and it becomes a new country in a way after some kind of apocalypse revolution thing, and these handmaidens have to produce the children, but they are of some kind of form of pseudo-religious order. Well, it is religious actually. It's not pseudo, is it? Because it is actual religion, and they use kind of a kind of warped version of Christianity. Where these females have to produce children. So it's a very interesting concept, and the ownership of women perspective really emphasize. It takes it to extreme levels, I suppose. There could be more extreme levels, but they're really tawdry of sexism. It made me rethink of my role as a man in society, and how women are still subjected against sexism and the expectation to bear children and that kind of business. So. Yeah, it's an eye opener in a way, and it's an ultra kind of sexist book, but it's a very good read as well. And there are positives in it as well, the way the story works. But I find it's quite funny how you have conception is important, right? So abortion is illegal in this world, to the extent where if you do an abortion, you get it's a death sentence for you. So doctors are getting hung up for doing abortions, even historic abortions in the past. So not even abortions before the abortion law came in, which is something we're seeing in America now, aren't we? We're seeing abortion becoming illegal. So it's interesting that she picked up on that as a thing. So it's obviously something that was going around and swimming around in the social conscience at the time. So I think it still holds up to modern scrutiny, but I think it will be a timeless piece anyway. Very good book. You got to pick it up. And the protagonist goes through her story, and it's a pretty terrible one, but it's also got some negatives and positives in this post-apocalyptic world. But I think I really like the end when you get to the epilogue as well. So it may seem confusing initially, but it will make sense the more you get into it. So just keep on plugging with it. And at the end, she does end it well. I was a bit worried it was going to end terribly, but the ending there are some questions, but I think she ends it really nicely so that enough questions are answered for you to understand exactly what the crack is with the story, and it does complete nicely. So that is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. It's a 5 out of 5 experience, well written, really easy reader, engaging story, and right from the start, the middle and the end, I think it's 100% success on this one. One of the best books you can buy in this genre of the dystopia. Anyway, if you've got any questions, drop them below. I'll try and answer them on the book if you're struggling with it. Maybe I won't be able to answer though, because there's a lot of questions I think that get asked of certain things in this book. But anyway, great book, great read. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.